In this video, I'm going to tell you everything you need to know about perks in Call of Duty Vanguard Zombies. I'll explain to you what each perk does within Duranfang, and I'll also show you where to find them. The new perk system allows you to rank up each perk to 4 times, so I'll be showing you which ones you should prioritise and why. So the 5 perks are as follows. Fissure Fortitude or Juggernog, which will increase your health in 25-point increments per tier. Diabolical Damage or Deadshot Daiquiri, which increases the critical damage you do per headshot. Venomous Figure, a perk that boosts your health regeneration speed 25% per tier. Demonic Frenzy, which will increase your reload speed 25% per tier. And finally, Ethereal Haste, also known as Stamina Up in previous titles, which will increase your movement speed around the map 25% per tier. For the first time in Zombies history, every perk is actually free for tier 1, but after that you'll have to pay 2,500 for tier 2, 5,000 for tier 3 and 7,500 essence for tier 4. On average you're given about 30 points per kill, meaning you have to get around 84 eliminations to afford the tier 2 perk. Of course this will then be double for tier 3 and so on. This will take a fairly long time in game, even if you're non-stop shooting, hence the importance of making the right choice when spending it early on. One thing to note is that if you happen to get downed in-game, then you will be reset back to tier 1 of each of your perks. This doesn't take away the perk, but it does mean that you have a significantly worse version of them. That's something to take into consideration when making those riskier plays later on in the game. With all that out of the way, let's dig a little bit deeper into each individual perk and show you exactly where you can find them. To locate Fissure Fortitude, you'll first have to complete the challenge behind this portal, and make your way through the newly opened space until you see these steps with the perk sat right at the top. As always, this perk is pretty much essential for any Zombies game and can give you up to 100 more health than you start with, so make sure you get the free tier as soon as possible and prioritise this one for sure. As with every other perk, Fissure Fortitude goes up in increments of 25, so you get 25 extra health for tier 1 and then 25 extra for tier 2 and so on. As always, this perk is pretty self-explanatory, but I thought I'd show you the difference at each different tier anyway. If you've played Zombies to any capacity before, you'll know the importance of this perk. It's definitely towards the top of the list in terms of priority and always will be. Moving on to Diabolical Damage, you'll want to take a similar route to Fissure Fortitude, but you'll want to bypass the steps and go straight through to this portal here. Once you complete the challenge, you can head straight through the doors and the perk sat right in the corner. This perk increases how much damage your headshots do, which is much more effective than you might think, as zombies get tough pretty quickly. It's similar to Deadshot Daiquiri in old Zombies games, but the multiplier makes it much more effective. Although it's not essential, it does help mow through large hordes in later rounds. Much like the rest of the perks, the difference is not huge before tier 2, but as soon as you jump from tier 2 to 3 and 3 to 4, there is definitely a noticeable difference. As you'll see in a second, as soon as we get into the tier 4 range, it's absolutely lethal. Honestly, this poor Stormkrieger did not stand a single chance. Moving on to Venomous Figure, it's a pretty straightforward route. You've just got to go straight through this portal here, completing the challenge, and voila. The basic premise of the perk is that once you get hit by a zombie, you'll regenerate your health that bit quicker. It's not too noticeable on tier 1 and tier 2, but it does get a bit better for 3 and 4. In my personal opinion, this perk is fairly useless for tier 1 and tier 2, you don't seem to notice too much of a difference, but once you get to 3 and 4, again, it's pretty useful. With that being said, if you're an advanced Zombies player, then you might not even need this perk until the later stages. If that's the case, then I'd definitely make this one a low priority. Next up is Demonic Frenzy. For this one you'll have to take a similar route to Venomous Figure, but go past it and through the portal located down these stairs. Once that challenge has been completed, you'll see the green light at the end of the corridor, just make your way down and it's sat right in the corner. Whilst in previous titles this perk would have been a necessity, it doesn't actually speed your reload up that much until you get to the very last tier, but unfortunately it's not that noticeable on the way. Even watching the footage back now, I can't see a significant increase in reload time, but even so, you cannot take for granted the importance of being able to get back firing quickly. I'd rank this perk medium priority, definitely get it ranked up eventually. The final perk, Ethereal Haste, can be found to the right of spawn, going up through the stairs and into this big building. Take a left and it's right at the end of the corridor. Similar to Stamina Up, this perk increases your movement speed gradually with each tier. However, it seems to take a huge leap when buying to tier 3. I couldn't notice it all too much on tier 1 and 2, but as soon as I finished drinking that third glass of haste juice, I was flying. Having this much speed is extremely useful in zombies, as it allows you to get out of so many situations that may have otherwise downed you. Aside from Fissure Fortitude, this is definitely the perk that I'll be ranking up first every game. Having this tier 4 will allow you to get behind cover from Stormkriegers at the last minute, and avoid any explosions from pesky boom shries. Definitely a high priority perk if you're like me and plan A is run away. So without trying to sound like a broken record, it's obvious that Fissure Fortitude will be the main perk to get early on. It's just how it's been since the dawn of time. As for the other perks, personally I prioritise getting Ethereal Haste in the early rounds. Then you'll want to look at getting Demonic Frenzy and especially Diabolical Damage ranked up fairly quickly, because as you saw in those clips, it can make quick work of those Stormkriegers. I would advise getting Venomous Figure as and when you can. Definitely don't forget about it, but I wouldn't say it's a huge priority and only really helps with tier 4 anyway. Obviously it goes without saying that is just my opinion. Each perk can help you, but it's more down to how you play when making the decision of which to rank up first. If you use movement to evade zombies and stay alive, you might want more health, speed and regeneration. However, if you enjoy training zombies and taking down huge groups at a time, then you'll want quicker reload times and more headshot damage. Hopefully this video helped to explain how perks work in Call of Duty Vanguard Zombies. If it did, make sure to subscribe and turn on bell notifications so that you never miss a guardline video. Thanks for watching, we'll see you next time.